you can instantly stop wanting, needing, craving, desiring, waiting for love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment as you acknowledge that you are love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. And from the sure foundation of being love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, all these things which are symbols of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment are spontaneously added onto you. They can appear as wonderful, harmonious relationships, wonderful, harmonious business, wonderful, harmonious lifestyle, your style. So we can say then, we are here to experience the love, the happiness, the peace, the bliss, the fulfillment as only God alone exists. Why would there be lack of love, lack of happiness, lack of peace, lack of bliss, lack of fulfillment, if only God alone exists? Who would God be in conflict with? Who would God be in separation with, as ultimately only God alone exists, appearing as all in harmony? This took me a number of years to realize, as I was identified with illusory thoughts, illusory beliefs in mind that were suggesting, thoughts would arise that would suggest an external condition needs to be met. An external condition needs to appear a particular way in order to experience love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. And if this external appearance did not appear in a particular way that I suggested, then I would think, and emotions would arise, and body would be experienced in a way where it seems to suggest that it lacks love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. As that's an illusion to suggest that you lack love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. It is illusory for me to imagine you any other way than already being the love, the happiness, the peace, the bliss, the fulfillment that you desire. And to prove the point, I have been coaching, consulting, training, and facilitating for many years. Topics on speed reading, for example, 2010 to 2018, since I did the last workshop. I have, upon building my own successful business in IT, went into business consulting, training entrepreneurs, coaching, consulting. And anytime I had a conversation with them in the beginning, they would always mention to me that what they desire to experience is some kind of symbol of happiness. It could be a lavish, steady, dependable income consistent with integrity and mutual benefit, a particular dollar amount in their bank account, a thriving business where they are supporting people, infrastructure, creating products and services that can benefit the lives of other people. And they desired to do this through entrepreneurship. And as God alone exists, all is in harmony. So they're indicating to me that this is how they desire to experience life, which is in harmony. And by that I mean, they wanted to have relationships with clients, vendors, team members, staff, mastermind, etc., you name it, the various kinds of business relationships, including, they would mention to me, harmonious, supportive friendships, relationships with their family, and also their significant other. And they wanted to have these kinds of relationships. And when I say other, that's illusory as well, as ultimately there is no other, as only God alone exists. Yet to articulate the point, they desire to experience perfect harmony, which is reality. The reality of God is perfect harmony in the form of lavish, steady, dependable income, consistent with integrity, and mutual benefit. What they truly desire is to be as they are, perfect as they are, and thus allow then all these things to be added onto them spontaneously and naturally, as only God alone exists, and therefore only God alone does everything in perfect harmony. The individual, we could say, having no need for interference generated by identification to illusory thoughts that suggest lack of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, lets the light be as the light was in the beginning, now, and ever shall be. As stated in Genesis 1:3, the Peshitta Aramaic Bible translation. One of my favorite translations, the Peshitta Aramaic Bible translation. It says, "And God said, the light shall be." The light shall be. As in, the light is perfect as it is now, as it was in the beginning, now and ever shall be. The Bible is communicated in a way that speaks to the heart while releasing identification to the illusory thoughts, the illusory beliefs in mind that seem to suggest that the individual is the one that doeth the work. Yet Jesus stated, "I can of myself do nothing. The Father within doeth the work." So how do I let the Father within doeth the work, bring forth the promises of God, the symbols of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, that also happen to be in perfect harmony with all, not in conflict with all, not us versus them, not this versus that, for that I am not. I am not this versus that. I am not us versus them. That's illusory, as only God alone exists. And prove it to yourself. Psalm 46:10. "Be still and know that I am God." And abide in that stillness. And bliss permeates the body. Thoughts of bliss, whatsoever things are true, lovely, and of good rapport, Philippians 4:8, permeate the body, the mind. Reality is experienced to be in harmony in the moment. And we could describe what permeates the body, which is God, as love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment permeating the body, thus proving the point that only God alone exists. God alone exists, and God alone animates all in perfect harmony without interference. So I release the identifications. I don't identify with the thoughts that suggest I lack love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, as those thoughts are illusory thoughts. They belong to what the Bible refers to as the old man, or the former self. The old man thinks in terms of lack of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. The old man places conditions in mind, suggesting that when I meet this person, or when I have this business success, or whatever they desire, nothing wrong with them for desiring. Desire is God calling each individual back to the source to prove the point, as mentioned. All they desired, the entrepreneurs, was to experience love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. They know them as they are looking outwardly into this world as this is what it looks like, and nothing wrong with them. Those are actually the symbols of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. How do you know? Well, when that actually happens, and it happens with them, as it happens with me, they experience love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. But it's not because of that, as there's only one cause of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, and that is God. God is the source, fulfillment, and cause of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. I can generate illusions of separation, thus I can suggest that I lack love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, and generates the suffering. So God doesn't generate the suffering. As you abide as I am, as you remain as you are still, there is no suffering. There is no lack of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. So as mentioned, the individual may think that this condition needs to be met, or this person needs to be there, or this environment needs to be a particular way, etc. They place these conditions in mind, suggesting that only, if and only when these conditions are met, then they can experience the being they are. They can experience love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. So what then may end up happening is, if they don't seem to meet these conditions at a particular time frame or whatever, they think that they're doing something wrong. There's nothing wrong with them. They can, in the moment, stop placing those conditions upon consciousness. As pure consciousness is perfect as it is now. You are perfect as you are now. You are pure consciousness, perfect as you are now, with or without those conditions. So the person in mind might think, let's say, very logically, and nothing wrong with them for thinking logically. I happen to be a very logical thinker. I built an IT business to success. We had very logical infrastructure that we put in place, we could say. This individual may think logically, may think, okay, I have placed this condition in mind. It didn't happen. Let's place another condition in mind so that that doesn't happen. Another condition, another condition, another condition. And now life, which is perfect as it is, as only God alone exists, and everything springs from the sure foundation of God alone existing as love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, thus everything appearing to be in perfect harmony. Rather than experiencing reality, and that's reality, they're experiencing the theater of the beliefs playing out, or the conditions playing out, and thinking and emotionally relating and behaving in a way that suggests to themselves that they lack love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. They think they lack it. So we stop that. Seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things are added unto you. Practically speaking, anytime these thoughts suggest you lack love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, you need to place another condition in mind in order to experience love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. Do nothing. Return back to the source. Actually, you are already at the source now. There's no separation between you and God. I and the Father are one. The Father, being infinitely greater than I, is the infinite source of the experiences of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. The I, we could say, generates the suffering that does not need to be there. It can be released. So we could say you are destined to experience nothing that is yours can be taken away from you. That's illusory. You are destined to experience the exact life that you desire. So as mentioned with the entrepreneurs, they end up mentioning to me, this is their vision. This is their definite chief aim. And then what happens is they're on the journey to actualizing it. Mark 11:24, pray as though you have received, and it will be yours. Whatsoever things ye desire, pray as though ye have received it. As in received it, already have it. One translation has it as received. That is an accurate translation. You are all that you desire to be. You have all that you desire. You don't need to do this or that to get love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. You don't need to place conditions in mind to get love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. Those conditions, when released, are experienced as flow. I am the way, and the way of life is flow. So you flow naturally. Everything appears to flow to you, to be in harmony. Body appears to flow naturally, to be in harmony. And what happens is you actualize the vision. So they end up experiencing what they desire. Yet along the way, they may become identified with lack of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. They may experience emotions in a particular way where they label the emotions as negative and suggest that they're a negative person, or there's something wrong with them, or this is not going to happen. And then thoughts of wanting, needing, craving, waiting may appear in mind as a result of that identification to whatever kind of belief or thought that suggests that they lack the love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. Now, what I teach is, in that moment, release that. And by release it, I mean return back to the source. And by that I mean specifically, abide as that I am presence. Abide as that I am presence. The peace that is beyond the thoughts. The happiness that is happiness. You are happiness. That is beyond the thoughts that suggests not happiness. And I'm not talking about pretending to be happy, trying to be happy. That's toxic positivity. That's trying to be. What we're talking about here is be. Be. You see the distinction? Not trying to be, not pretending to be, not faking to be. Be. Just be. And the direct path to be is stillness. So allow those thoughts to be if they seem to suggest that you lack. They're illusory. They're not real. They do not represent you. So in those moments, they can be still. You can be still. And then what happens is emotions arise and subside. Those thoughts that suggest lack of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment appear to disappear. Body relaxes. That's the power of God. And everything happens to then appear from that premise, which is the real premise, as only God alone exists, to appear to be in harmony. In what ways? Well, you may get visions, ideas, insights, and perspectives flash upon your mind's eye. And you naturally flow with those and actualize the vision. I remember one time when I was on a consulting deal, we had so much that ended up piling up as far as commitments that I felt, wow, overwhelmed. I don't feel fulfilled here in this overwhelmed feeling, we could say. But rather than trying to get rid of that emotion or think that there's something wrong with me, I went for a walk, and you may or may not go for a walk. You don't need to go for a walk to experience yourself as, yet I felt inspired to do so. So I went for a walk. And then I noticed that I returned back to the source. I walked as I am. And what happened was clarity emerged. An idea emerged in mind to contact this one individual who, when I contacted her, we brought her onto the project that we were working on, which again, I was involved with so many of the tasks, projects, and initiatives, and she took over 95 to 98% of that. And I then started coordinating more and masterminding at a different level of altitude. I did nothing because I can't myself do nothing. The Father would then do it the work. I do not conform, as stated in Romans 12:2, with the patterns of this world, which are illusory. And by that I mean, in mind, those patterns are the result of those conditions placed upon consciousness that suggest lack, that suggest limitation, that suggest not being. So in the moment, you do nothing. And by do nothing, you surrender completely. I surrender completely to the being I am in the moment. And then clarity arises just like that. Visions, hunches, inspirations from intuition flash upon the mind's eye. Or you may spontaneously appear to do something. In some way, somehow, it appears to play a role to actualize the vision. Or things may appear to change on their own, as only God alone exists. And only God does everything in perfect harmony. In harmony with you, in harmony with me, in harmony with all. As to suggest that it's in harmony with me and not in harmony with you is illusory, as only God alone exists. That would imply separation. If those thoughts are there, no shame, no condemnation, those conditions can be released. As those conditions, or those illusions of separation, those beliefs, generate illusions of separation, which then conflict is the result of that. Suffering is the result of that. To God, everything appears to be in perfect harmony. So what is practically experienced, the benefit, we can say, for the individual? Well, the same benefit for every individual, for every plant, for every animal. Only God alone exists. So God animates all of this perfectly. How does the ocean waves ebb and flow? God does it. A person in mind who thinks in terms of, well, this is life and that has no life, might not realize that there only is life, no shame, no condemnation. I am the way, the truth, the life. So God does everything. And the way is perfect as it is. The way happens naturally, automatically. God does everything to be in perfect harmony. So it does not appear as conflict, as the conflict illusions, the unreal realities that are generated by the individual through identification dissolve. Prove the point. When I was identified with these conditions, I experienced less flow. I was trying to figure out things, and it was very cranial. There was a lot of force, stress, frustration. There were thoughts of us versus them, me versus this environment versus me, confusion of should I do this or that, this is better than that, that is better than this. When in reality, there is no this versus that, us versus them, as only God alone exists. Prove it that only God alone exists. Abide as I am by relaxing into that perfect peace within you, the perfect love within you, that I am presence, the perfect peace within you, the perfect love within you, the perfect happiness within you, the perfect bliss within you. To acknowledge I am fulfilled, I am completely fulfilled, as I am whole, complete, lack nothing. And the experience of God is actually, we can even say, the closest experience to you. God is the closest to you than anything, any person, any experience, as God's name is I am. Exodus 3:14, I am that I am. Thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. So you experience that I am by not identifying. All of these are appearances. The trees are appearances. This camera is an appearance. The emotions are appearances. The thoughts are appearances. The body is an appearance. What I can imagine, this or that, is an appearance. The conditions placed upon consciousness are appearances. The mind is an appearance. The thoughts in mind are appearances. All this appears to who? Who does this appear to? The individual may say, it appears to I, the individual. And to this we say, inquire, where do I spring from? The absolute being, God is the absolute being, infinite being, I am. So I then relax in perfect love, in perfect happiness, in perfect peace, in perfect bliss, and perfect fulfillment. And mind is purified. The radiance of God purifies the mind from those conditions, as the individual, even logically now, has realized that those conditions are illusory. So what does it play out as, for example, in the relationship scenario? Well, if, let's say, they meet someone, they go on a date with them, things happen to flow, great. So let's say they make plans to go out another day of the week, and the person calls them up or sends them a DM and says, I'm not able to make it. Happiness, love, peace, bliss, fulfillment. That could sound to the person in mind who thinks in terms of conditions. What do you mean? Love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. they are not coming out. You don't need them to come out to experience love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. So it's not like they're not going to have that relationship. It's not like that relationship is not going to appear. As I mentioned earlier, what is yours can never be taken away from you. There's just no suffering anymore. There's no wanting, needing, waiting, craving anymore, as mind has been purified from those conditions. So they experience love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment if the person comes out or if the person does not come out. They experience love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment as they're going about their day-to-day activities, not waiting for this person to show up in order to experience love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. So let's say if a person desires to have a wonderful relationship, nothing wrong with the individual for desiring to experience the fruits of God. We are here to experience the love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment of God. What is not love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, I am not. Those are illusory thoughts generated by the conditions in mind that belong to the old man, and you are not the old man. You are certainly not the old man. How can you be the old man if you are love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment? If only God alone exists, how can there be this old man? This old man is illusory. The individual, through identification with old man thinking, may have thought in terms of separation. Now, the individual, having renewed the mind by doing nothing to renew the mind, simply returning to the I am presence and abiding as I am, allowing that love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment to permeate the body, permeate the mind, permeate all experiences, as all is actually ultimately God playing all roles, perfect as God does, without interference. Then the individual still goes on to, for example, in dating, date, but they're not placing conditions on the dates. If it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, great. If we go on a second date, great. If we don't go on a second date, great. Unconditional love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. And what's interesting about that, and I teach this to entrepreneurs, is they end up getting the clients because they're not afraid to do the prospecting. They're not afraid to do the lead generation because they don't think anymore that if this happens or that happens, then they lack love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. So body naturally flows to do the prospecting. Body naturally flows to do the lead generation, to do the client acquisition, to automate, delegate, optimize, eliminate. By the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but I created a new channel focused exclusively on entrepreneurship, which there's the mind maps that I used to do that I brought back onto that channel. I'll link in the description to it, where I get into the specifics of what we're talking about here. Prospecting, acquiring leads, client acquisition, ongoing business from existing clients, operations, finance, leadership, sales, marketing, innovation. Based on personal experience of having built 3 successful businesses and being an entrepreneur since 2009 full-time. Prior to that, I did 10 years in corporate. And also working with thousands of entrepreneurs along the way. And as mentioned, the pattern, I saw that pattern. What they were seeking for was love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. And as we release these conditions and abide as we are, as God intended, we could say, everything appears to be as it is now, perfect as it is now, in harmony. Thus is love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment for no reason. On the journey to actualizing the vision, which they committed to, they articulated it to me. They said, this is what I desire to experience. It's done. The moment you accept that it's done, it's done. That's it. God takes care of everything else. You have now accepted yourself. You have now realized yourself. You found it in the form of desire. Desire means having. Desire means being. No separation. They're on the journey to actualizing it, or so it appears that way. And along the way, which is a wonderful theater, a wonderful play of God, the individual may be presented with opportunities, again, so it could appear that way, to release these conditions placed upon consciousness. Anytime the individual thinks, emotionally relates, and behaves in a way that suggest that they lack love, happiless, peace, bliss, fulfillment. They can do nothing. I can of myself do nothing. The Father within doeth the work. They can do nothing to access the source. I am the way. I am the way. I am the way of life, and the way of life is flow. So the individual appears to flow. Everything appears to flow to be in harmony with them. Assets, relationships, intangible assets, digital assets, physical assets, relationships, I talk about this as well on the other channel, appear to be in harmony, present opportunities to generate more prospects, generate more leads, generate more clients, ongoing business with existing clients, etc. Naturally, spontaneously, it naturally arises. It just appears this way. It's a play of God. This is a play of God that appears to be in perfect harmony as the individual does not interfere with the play of God. And there's no need to interfere with the play of God. Yet no shame and no condemnation. If these thoughts that don't belong to you, that belong to the old man, if old man conditioning, for whatever the reason may be, is still in mind, that's why I teach. Don't identify with it. Abide as I am. The condition is released. Love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment is experienced for no reason. And it permeates everything the individual appears to do. We could say then they always appear to be celebrating God as God alone exists. They appear to bring love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment wherever. The love of God, the peace of God, the bliss of God, the happiness of God, the fulfillment of God permeates every initiative, every client relationship, every product or service, every relationship with their prospect, vendors, clients, team members, etc., with increasing frequency on a continuous basis as far as the senses perceive. As God does everything, as only God alone exists. Transcend the illusions of I to acknowledge that I am existence as love, as happiness, as peace, as bliss, as fulfillment, as there is no other. Besides me, there is no other. These people, the trees, they're not other. They are also ultimately the being I am. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. Let's conclude this with an auto-suggestion to further encourage. You could say, I rest assured in the being I am. As the being I am represents the sure foundation where I spring from, the source of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, the infinite, absolute source of delight, which appears to be as symbols of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, wherever I appear, as God animates me perfectly, as God animates all in harmony with me. Only God is real, as only God alone exists, in perfect bliss, in perfect love, in perfect happiness, in perfect peace, in perfect fulfillment. Illusions that suggest otherwise appear to dissolve, appear to disappear, to reveal the absolute, perfect reality of God.